Traders, good afternoon. Good evening for some of you. You know, you got a lot of European traders out there, maybe even some Asia, a couple that far east. As I always, give it a few minutes for people to join us. Let's see. Been watching the euro a little bit here this morning. Caught a pretty good bid on the CPI number. I think we'll be better sellers again back towards 119. I told the Forex group that we covered some stuff pretty well yesterday and the other day on the euro. All right, guys, I'll pretty much get started. If you have questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. Typically, sometimes we do a Q&A, and I'll keep it pretty laid back and just open, and we go back and forth, and I try to answer questions on the fly here, but I do want to cover some ground and go over some of the material and the talk about our trading group, a little bit about the trades we've been doing, where we see the market going. There's been a ton of movement just on NEO. I mean, some of these positions that we've been working and the signals we've been putting out, but we've already had some doubles and triples in a lot of our plays. So we did some profit taking today and yesterday on NEO up here, which is an altcoin. NEO metals had a big move. Just monster moves here. Basic attention coin, we just recently took some profits in as well. But why don't we can get into the charts a little bit later. I'll just share with you guys my background. So my name's Jason Jenkins. I started Jenkins Risk Management last year, and prior to starting the firm here, I traded U.S. cash treasuries on the institutional side. So we ran a couple of rates desks. I worked for a couple other broker dealers out of Boca Raton, Florida. Originally, I started in the business on the equity and options side, trading with Charles Schwab. But I spent the last 10 years as a bond trader and in the fixed income markets. And the business has changed a lot. Rates moving down. That market it's still one of the deepest, best markets to trade as far as directionally. But what I wanted to do is take our model and bring it across different markets and bring it to the independent trader. And whether it's somebody who's brand new to trading, or we work with a lot of institutional traders also. I used to cover pretty much the heads of the desk of all the primary dealers. And for any of you guys that know or don't know about how fixed income world works, is a lot of time the rates desk, they call it, they're the ones that are kind of in charge of the direction and the having an opinion and which way they steer the firm's books, as far as, you know, the muni desk, the corporate bond desk. It's the rates guys that usually kind of make the call as far as what if they want to be bullish or bearish or how they want to be positioned. So I talked to the heads of, I talked to a lot of traders on those desks, Deutsche, BNP, RBS, RBC, HSBC. And then there was a lot of hedge fund traders that I would cover, from DRW in Chicago, Balyasny, a lot of other little funds, portfolio managers. So we had a directional model, and that's what that's what we do here on the crypto team. So if you guys are interested, when you come to the services side, this crypto coin team, this is what we're going to talk about today. And so, well, let's talk about the model also. So in the process of trading different markets, we developed this model, which is, I call it my top-down directional approach. But it's a model that's it's good for any market. So whether you're trading the 1-minute chart or 5-minute chart and you want a day trade, and we apply this model to all different markets. So I have a group of probably 50 Forex traders. We trade together every day, traders from all over the world. But we were also trading futures on the oil market or treasuries. And so we apply this trading model and method and process to all markets, but specifically we've got into doing an analysis and trading the crypto space. And I'm really excited about it because I think it's the opportunity in the digital space and the buzz in the financial markets is just incredible. There's probably the most exciting thing that's happened to trading and finance since the futures really started trading on interest rate products in the 80s. So kind of jumping around here. Let me just talk about crypto real quick. So here's kind of where I think we're at when we think about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain. So, if you read up on Bitcoin and the blockchain, you're getting a lot of references to where the marketplace is the same spot as where the internet was back in the 90s when email was just starting to come out. And so we're still very early. And what tends to happen in markets as they develop is you have what's called the stealth phase. And that's where it's the early adopters, a lot of innovation. The people that come up with the technology are usually the ones that are using it and changing it and working on it. And that's kind of what you've had going on for the last several years. Bitcoin was started out of the financial crisis, which is cool because it was born in the midst of, and I had a front row seat. I mean, we were trading treasuries and we were whipping it around. I mean, I traded anywhere between 50 to 80 billion a year in volume. And I mean, I was trading with the banks. We'd buy 50 million tens. The market would absolutely explode. Stocks were getting destroyed. Bear Stearns was going out of business. People were moving money away from Wachovia and thinking that these banks were all going to go down, and treasuries were just ripping for points and points and points. And we'd sell 100 million tens and it would rip right through it. And guys would call and say, well, where's the next level? 10 ticks higher. We offered to sell more tens. The market would just rip right through there. So out of that crisis, now we have this the most innovative free technology probably since the internet. So this is a technology that the blockchain isn't just about the internet of money. This is a technology that money is just the first application. So it's going to continue to develop. It's going to continue to change. And if it's not Bitcoin, it'll be some other form of currencies or several other digital currencies. But we're coming out of this stealth phase, and now the next phase is the institutional wave. And you're starting to see that. We just posted in our room today that Fidelity, you can log into Fidelity now and view Bitcoin balances. You don't even have your first ETF yet on the institutional sides. Now, everything that's going on with the ICO market, really fascinating. I wanted to bring this up also. Let me see if I can be quicker about this. So the velocity of money, I don't know if some of you are new to this. This is, in economics, this is what you track as far as the money changing hands within an economy. So this is from the St. Louis's Fed site. And this shows you what's been going on. And this is pretty much true globally. Um, there's been just so much little activity as far as investment and capital flow and money changing hands. I mean, there's still a ton of capital that the Fed printed, just the banks never lend out. It's sitting at the Fed at 25 basis points, and so there's not a lot of money flying around. But when you look at the digital space, it's the complete opposite. You look at these ICO markets, the amount of money that's being raised. There's so much innovation going on. There's so much capital, and I mean, just how we raise money. When you look at when the stock exchanges first started, that created a huge amount of wealth. The average person could participate. It just created all kinds of capital for companies. And that process has evolved and matured, but now you're starting to see on the digital side all that same entrepreneurship and innovation, and the capital is absolutely flying around. So that's a market you want to trade. That's a market you want to be a part of. And that's part of the reason why I'm excited about it. And we could go on and on about, all the interesting, exciting things about the market. But I still think we're very early, right? So as the institutional money starts to come in, you're going to see the volatility shrink a little bit, because the more capital that comes in, the more liquidity, some of the wide swings, the more capital that steps in, these markets will tend to kind of stabilize a little bit more. But right now, we're really enjoying the volatility. As a trader, that's what you want. All right. So then, I mean, we're not even close to where the average person is trading this stuff like we had at the dot-com bubble. You had taxi drivers, that were day trading. We're not even close to that. But at some point, I think as the institutional money, this bull market really starts to catch even more steam, at some point you're probably going to have you'll reach that, what they call the mania phase, right? And then that's where you tend to get these bubbles to pop, but we're not anywhere close to that yet. So let's just talk about the model real quick. I call this the origins of our trading model. And again, this is directional, so I won't get into the differences between fundamentals and technicals and cyclical analysis. But essentially, you still have a lot of old Wall Street's very fascinated with valuation and the fundamentals. And it's been my view as a trader that timing is much more important than that. It's very difficult to have all the fundamentals. You never really know. And it's just not helpful to know where something's supposed to trade, if something's cheap or expensive. What's more important is how are you going to manage your risk? How are you going to time it? And so we focus on technical analysis, and then we really focus on this idea of cyclical analysis, which not a lot of firms do, not a lot of traders are familiar, and that's having an understanding of time. But we built the model around a lot of physics, a lot of ideas that you see in thermodynamics play out in the markets as well. Because essentially, guys, all energy moves. The way energy travels is a cyclical formation. So the sunlight from, the light that travels from the sun, that moves in a wave formation. The cycles in nature are just everywhere. All right. And it's the same energy flow in markets. So yes, you have emotions, greed and fear, but there's the same cyclical wave formation that exists on the charts. And so once you identify these patterns, they repeat over and over and over again. It's just even in the longer term cycles, like the business cycle is 8.6 years. All right, so this is the model that we teach. And then when you sign up for our trading team, there's two options. And the second option, you get to get all this training, and we go over this model. It's 9 hours of video where I teach all this stuff. This is just a glimpse of what you go over. I mean, I have examples in here with the business cycle, the roaring 20s. There's a frequency here that the global business cycle is on. It's 8.6 years. And I've gone back and you'll find market tops a lot of times with the cycle. So here in September 1929, you had a top exactly to the month. Most recently in 2007, the market that topped was the real estate market that topped to the exact month of the business cycle. You actually had real estate bottom here in 2009 on the minor wave. That was another cyclical turn. Anyway, so this is why we have a lot of success trading, and we're taking those same concepts to the crypto market, because let's face it, there's a lot of new traders there. There's a lot of traders that don't know what they're doing in these markets, and everybody tends to chase high, which never really works out well. So we try to help people with the timing part. And I'll show some examples in the chart. We have a cyclical model that revolves around pi. Pi is actually the perfect cycle. When you take 8.6 years of the business cycle, that happens to be 3,141 days, which is actually pi times 1,000. Just lots of different cyclical components, guys. When you even look at derivatives of 8.6, you get 8.6 years, pi times 1,000 days. Well, 8.6 times 3 is 25.8. The Earth's precession of the Earth's axis is the same, 25,800 years. So what we found is these cycles exist. Pi is a derivative of the sine and cosine wave form, has to do with pi. So it's just an understanding of the structure, not just of geometry, but this concept of time. And when you apply it to markets, you get it helps with your consistency. Anyway, so that's a little look at kind of the model. And then when it comes to trading, we can go back to, let's see, let's go back to some of these charts. Yeah, there we go. So do you guys want to look at Bitcoin? This will do the majors. So unfortunately in this space, there's a lot of people that never traded before. They don't know how to trade this market, but there's a lot of need for some help with the timing piece. So I'll just give you guys a few examples here. In my videos, I've been trying to add a lot of value and put stuff out on YouTube and just some simple concepts that we use. But like I said, that everything is wave formation vibration. So in physics, quantum physics, everything has a resonance of vibration. And so in the markets, I call this the wave formation, which is exponential moving average ribbon bands, but it gives you a good visual of the wave or the trend. All right. And down here we have the pi line, we call that. That's just a simple, I wanted a moving average that was beyond 200. I said, well, why don't we try 314 for pi? And it's just amazing the amount of cyclical highs and lows that come in and around this moving average, and it can be on the 1 minute, the 5 minute. We find examples all the time where price fails at that moving average and comes back down. One of the best examples was on Brexit with the pound sterling. The market went through the 200, failed right at pi. Nobody has that on their chart. It's a simple discovery I made, and the market absolutely collapsed from that level. And so it's not about the moving average on the chart. What's happening is that amount of time, you're tracking the average price over X amount of units. And so yes, it's an average of all the price, but more importantly, you're measuring that over a fixed amount of time. And so 314 happens to be the amount of time that you'll see these markets will cycle away from it and come back to it, away from it, come back to it. And so we have some trading concepts around that. We call this our pie line. But just simple things, how we teach our traders how to follow the trend, what defines the trend, and then we want to get the trend right and be able to identify that, and then you also want to get the timing piece right. So these markets move in a nice rhythm a lot of times, and it's just like a pendulum or a metronome in music. It's that rhythm that we try to pick up on. And so this last move down here was low within the cycle. We were buying into this dip when most of the traders were all chasing up here, chasing the headlines, and then lots of headlines down here about how Bitcoin was done, how it was crashing, on and on. And again, all the fear comes into play right here where you wanted to be buying. The cycle was low, you're oversold. And then we've been taking profits in here, buying some back. Just recently took some more gains up here. And so we do this on different time frames. We have longer term core positions we teach traders how to take, and then you can trade it around on the smaller time frame charts like the hourly or 4-hour chart. Let's go to something that we traded recently. Let's look at this NEO chart. So, guys, I mean, look at these moves. This is what's amazing about this market is these moves exist. It doesn't take a lot of capital to really move these currencies, but it's all the same flow. So prior to this latest just explosion, and it's not about trying to figure out the headlines. It's not about, I get the story behind some of this stuff. When this digital currency used to be AntShares, it rebranded itself to NEO. They're trying to be the Bitcoin or Ethereum in Asia. So all that's fine, but if you're trading the headlines, you're going to find yourself always chasing highs, and you're going to be selling the lows. All right, that's just not how markets move. Markets move buy the rumor, sell the news. But we were accumulating in here this entire time before this whole run up. And most traders, I see it in the chat rooms, I see it just on the internet, people are chasing these moves after they've already happened. So just some simple examples here of what we were doing. All right, here's your first run up. I talk about this a lot. We have a wall concept I teach my traders. You look at this entire move up as one move or one candle, and then about halfway is a great place to start buying back in. So you wanted to be taking profit up here and then looking for a pullback. And a lot of these crypto moves are going to have retracements that are larger than 50% just because it's so volatile. So here was an example of a retrace that was more like 80%. But look, this is a swing line concept. It's another concept we teach. Because in the model, if you guys sign up for the training videos, I teach you there's 3 pillars in the model, and that's analysis, execution, and then risk. So we spend a bunch of time on the analysis, which is learning how to define a trend, how to understand the cycles. And then we spend a bunch of time on execution. I teach about 7 buy and sell setups. And we have things we call, like this is called a swing line setup right here. This was a buy right there. That's called a swing line buy setup in our model. I teach the traders that. We have candle events where we want to add to our trade, different concepts there. We have trailing methods we use. That's all under execution. And then we also get into the risk part. So that's probably the most important, teaching you how to think like a trader, the psychology of trading, a trading plan, max loss per day, per week, per month, how to do your trailing stops again, identifying places where you're wrong, how to work a position, how to work your size. All that stuff comes into on the risk side of the model. And I'll tell you guys how to where to join up and to get that training in a second. But look, this was a nice buy setup. You had 3-day follow through, and then they had basically another swing line. This was a buy here. So we were accumulating on these points, buying some here, all right, buying some more here. And then this was a BCI in our model right there. That was a great spot to add. All right. And then this has just been on a tear. So we've been taking profit up here. All right. And we've been trading the different time frames. We just had a 30-minute cycle dip that we took advantage of. So this morning I signaled in our trading room that we want to take profits up here if you were long any NEO, get the pullback. All right. So basically just bought the low. That's a bottoming tail setup. That's another execution I teach right there. And it was pretty much spot on with the bottom of the cycle. So I'll take some of that back off here as we move back into the highs of this morning and yesterday. And so we trade around a core position. This is how a professional trades. And that's what I'm trying to teach and help everyone with that joins our team that wants to participate in this market. That's our main thing is we have a very good timing model and we're good at teaching it to traders. And then it's about having a model and a process. That way you're not constantly running through all the emotions in your mind. Should I buy? Should I hold? Should I take some off? When you make it mechanical and you have a model and a process and you just stick to the process, you'll be much more consistent trader. And then you're going to have some really incredible results. And let me just share with you guys what kind of a picture of what we've been doing and how this is the consistency of what this model can help you with. This is just what we've been doing since we started kind of trading these markets last month. So we trade through Bittrex and Coinbase, and we trade through Bitfinex and the GDAX. So here you have NEO. This is what I was referencing. Our average cost is down at 7. It's trading between 29, 30, 35 already. That's 300% return. We've had we worked this position really well. That one was a double. It's trading up at 7.5. We've been buying down at 330. Still working this Ripple position, but that's not a whole lot. 10% on these markets. When that sucker goes into a next uptrend, this will be a good spot. This one is a good place to still be accumulating. Bitcoin Cash is fairly new position. I think we've only had 2 buys there. But guys, this is incredible consistency with some amazing gains. I mean, this was a double here on BAT as well. So this is why I love this space. But you can get great return, you get great volatility, but you need to know how to work a position. You got to know how to time it because you can get absolutely crushed too. So I think that said, let me share with you guys the best way to get involved with us and what we're doing. Let me share my screen. So again, this is our page. If we go to jenkinsrm.com, you know, if you're just want to be a trader, if you're interested in other markets, I mean, I have a prop program where you can get funded in trading. We trade together every day. This chat room, we have real-time alerts. I do a bunch of education and training, but specifically we're talking about the crypto coin team today. Just click here. All right. And this is kind of how we have the program set up. So there's 2 options. The first is you just become a member. And so you're joining our chat room. You're getting these real-time alerts trading alerts, Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything where we see opportunity, we're talking about. And then it's a collaborative, it's a it's a team environment. So we have some people that are really techie out west, you know, that are all over all the different, you know, that are miners and you know, I'm not a techie. There's just computer science guys in here that want some help trading it, but they've been in these markets for 2 years. So it's fun. You learn a lot. Everybody kind of contributes. We talk about different ideas. You know, this whole thing that was going on with the fork. There's a lot of information coming down, so it's important to kind of have that type of interaction. You get a lot more information. You can stay on top of it better. It's fun, and that's what I always wanted to be: team guy, build a team. That's what this is about here. And the way we structured it, it's $1,000. It's basically a way I thought of it as, you know, you want to get down on the floor of the board of trade, you got to pay up to get a seat. Well, there's a membership. That's the cost of the membership. And then the other half of that, $500, we coined a term called a coin bag, and it's a reward for joining the team. And then that goes in. We trade that around as a group portfolio. And then the other option is a premium side, which is this is basically all that the training I talked about on the model. This is a great value, guys. I've had people pay $3,500, $5,000. I've done consulting on the model, and I have traders pay me $7,000 to get the same teaching. For an extra $1,000, you get to join the coin team, and you're going to get all the training on my model. So that's 10 years of me going down dead ends and trying to figure out what works and doesn't work as a trader. And you can save yourself all that pain and agony and lost money just by leveraging my experience and just kind of learning the model and how I put it all together. So that's a great deal. I mean, I always tell the story. I paid $12,000 when I wanted to learn to trade Forex. And I'm just always amazed at people's mentality. You can always kind of tell a lot by somebody how they think about themselves and their value, because I mean, I remember when the first LED TV came out, that was $4,000 I paid for a TV. Now they're like $2,000, you know, the same TV. But it's just amazing that people will buy something like that is not going to give them any return. And yet, you know, when I had little money, I was just getting the business. I wanted to learn Forex. I paid 12 grand because I knew, all right, if I just got one or two concepts out of this, you know, that's something I could have for the rest of my trading career. And I wanted to be a trader for the rest of my life. To me, that was worth it. Well, sure enough, I took a few of those Forex concepts, took it into the fixed income world, and some of those concepts were behind what I put into the model, and it's been worth millions. I mean, we made millions on the desk, and I had traders that I used those same concepts with, that swaps traders at Cities. These guys are making $1 million in a day. That's a different way of thinking about $12,000 and investing in yourself. But so for $2,000, guys, this is just, I mean, it's an amazing investment in yourself. Just the video and the teaching on the model alone. It should be a lot higher, actually. So anyway, I just wanted to make it available because there's so many people interested in this space. And so I want to grow it, and I just want to have people on the team and do this together. So you guys can learn more about it. Oh, also we have I wanted to make it easy for people to get involved. So we have a referral affiliate program, and anybody that you refer to this team will give you $200 too if they sign up, whether they sign up in the chat room membership or they want to come in with the training videos. So if money's tight, or if, I know there's a lot of younger millennials and people that maybe still in college and stuff that are interested in this market and trading it. You go refer a couple friends or friends and family, and we join the team here. It's an easy way to kind of pay for the membership. I sometimes forget to reference that. So that's it, guys. That's the easiest way to join. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. This is the best way to just get in touch with us. And I look forward to having a lot of you on the team. There's so much to learn about this market. And it's my favorite market to trade by far. I mean, the moves are just amazing. We come in this morning and you got something in your longs up 45%. It's just it's, it's, it's pretty unbelievable. Oh, I got some questions over here. Let's see. Do you guys trade the 5-minute and 1-minute charts or just the daily? Yeah, we look at longer term, all time frames. So we don't. I mean, we trade the forex market on our prop program. We day trade that market. It's a deeper market, more margin. The commissions are smaller. The execution's fast. I don't really see the day trading really as a viable thing yet in this crypto space. I mean, we're going to try to trade the near term around a little bit more, but mostly we're taking swing trades, so over the intermediate term. So we look a lot at the hour, 4-hour chart, those daily cycles. But a lot of times the positions we're just holding for several hours to several days. And then, of course, we're keeping a core position. So then we're looking at the weekly chart, the monthly chart. From a beginner in trading, or just follow the calls of the chat room? Yeah, definitely follow the calls. So, I'll do a lot of video, talk about where we want to be buyers. But Ethereum, a lot of times on a Saturday, the market's been making big moves. But Bitcoin broke out above 3,000 on a Saturday. The low in Ethereum a couple weeks ago was 180. That was on a Saturday morning. So all those real-time alerts are in the chat room. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to answer. This is trading, so yeah, you're taking risk. Someone's on the winning side, someone's on the losing side. But it's important to have a process, because there's a lot of people that get burned chasing these things at the wrong time. If you were buying in the dot-com bubble on the highs, I mean, there's people that lost a fortune, and they got levered up in margin, and absolutely taken out. I mean, I was at Schwab, and I've heard those stories about doctors absolutely bankrupting themselves because they're in there and they're in these markets and they have no concept, no trading method, no risk management. So we help a lot of people, and as far as that goes, I mean, trying to help people make money it's not just about you. I'm trying to help other people. But yeah, guys, you can message us. Well, let me just show you the team here. So some of you may have come into our trading room, but if you hit the chat room here, it takes 2 seconds, put your name in. It's free to join. That gets you into the community. And then our private room is where we have our crypto team. So that looks like this. All right, so this is what you pay for when you're in the room as a member. So we're all the talk going back and forth. This is me just mentioning that fidelity I talked about earlier. But these are all our trade signals going out. So we were taking profit here on metal. That was this morning. So you can get this on your phone, push notifications. It's a good group. So again, guys, it's just right here, jenkinsrm.com, crypto coin team. And there you go. Yeah, we take Bitcoin too, for sure. Yep. David, you're trading Neo around. I mean, I just added to our position. I like it down here. So if you look at, let me get back to my chart. So I like having a core position on this Neo for the long term, right? It's so hard to tell where these things are going to go to, guys. I mean, people that didn't think Bitcoin could rally past 500, it's at 3,000. So it's not really helpful to try to pick a top on these things. This is a market that's going to be, it's not going anywhere. Different currencies are going to win. There's going to be more. There's going to be so much capital coming into this space. The next 3 to 5 years is going to be really exciting. So it's really hard to know where the top is. What you want to do is take a core position and hold that position, but times you're going to add to it and you're going to reduce to it. So when things get overbought, you trim your position, take some profit, right? As it pulls back, then you increase your position. We call that adding and reducing. So my last 3 executions were taking profit here. I missed this run up here, but took some profit, more profit this morning, and then we got another cycle back. So I bought some back. I could take some off right now, actually, really. I could if we wanted. This is a pretty good move off the low. But this is the kind of the timing to help with. I mean, this has had a big move, so it's tough to start a really big position up here. A pullback back towards the breakout highs would be a little bit better. Back it down here. That's certainly possible if we get a pullback back towards this level. That's probably around like 20, 15 to 20 area if you're talking in dollar terms. But yeah, those are the conversations that we have all the time. You've been trading, yeah, the options are good too. I mean, the only way you're going to get returns 300%, 100% is either in this wild space, or you got to be trading the options. That's on a different market, stocks or options on futures. So I trade a lot of options too. It's a good market. It's a good product. Any more questions here? A lot of you guys are trading Neo. Cool. I like it. Anthony, I'm not sure. It'll probably be the same. I have a couple other ideas on some products and programs. We have a couple other projects we're working on in the space also. I don't really want to say just yet. There's a good chance we might be doing an ICO. But for now, yeah. I mean, we're not going anywhere, Anthony. So just when you're ready, man, we're here. All right, guys, I think I'll wrap it up with you. Look forward to seeing somebody on the team. If you have questions, you guys you're welcome to message me in the chat. My partner, Rita, will help get you started as well. And thanks for spending some time here today, guys. And if I don't talk to some of you, enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. I'll probably be looking at the markets in the morning. We're used to trading Forex and getting kind of together on Sunday evenings and as the markets open back up, but crypto's whipping around on Saturdays too. So anyway, guys, enjoy your weekend. And we'll talk to some of you in the room.